Welcome back to the Unpack Mindset, folks. My name's Jesse, your host. So today we're going to talk about the tragedy that happened over in Louisiana, the shooting, the mass shooting, and we'll check out a quick video, and yeah, we'll break it down, and yeah, I'll give you my thoughts. Stand by.
Police say Shamar Elkins killed 8 children, including 7 of his own, in an execution-style shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana, early Sunday morning.
When he returned here, he began to execute children.
The incident started as a domestic dispute around 5 in the morning. According to police, Elkins shot a woman in the face at one house, then went to the house where his children were and shot another woman. Police say he pursued the children, even as some of them tried to escape.
Were they crawling out of windows to get onto a roof?
Yes, so actually this house right here that you see behind us, there's a window right above the garage. They actually climbed out of that window, we believe, and unfortunately one of the children was actually located deceased on the roof. So we are working to determine, we do believe that he shot the child while the child was on the roof trying to get away.
Police said the shooter then stole a vehicle from a driver at gunpoint and led officers on a multi-parish chase. When he stopped in a neighborhood and got out with a gun, officers shot and killed him.
We believe there were multiple weapons used here. There is a handgun that was recovered at this scene, and then there was a rifle-style handgun that was recovered on his person.
One of the adults shot was the wife of the shooter. Both women are hospitalized and expected to live. Photos posted to the gunman's Facebook page show him with several children. One posted just 2 weeks ago, captioned, "With all my kids, what a blessed day."
The kids played in the yard every evening.
Fred Montgomery lives directly across the street. He said there were no signs the shooter would do something like this.
Just yesterday evening, he was sitting on the porch, and I waved at him. He waved back. The children were in the yard playing, and I just come in the house. And then this morning, we woke up to all of this.
Elkins had previously pleaded guilty to a weapons charge. That was back in 2019, but police are still looking for answers as to what it was that prompted this shooting. Jason Allen, CBS News, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Man, this is terrible. I mean, I got a question for you. What do you do when that place that's supposed to make you feel safe, it just, it becomes a place where you don't survive. That place is supposed to protect the child just becomes completely violated, man. I remember how safe I felt growing up in my old home and how impenetrable it felt. You know, felt like nobody could ever do anything to me. That's the question that's been heavy on all of us since the news broke out about this shooting. You hear something like that, and it just doesn't hit you in your ears, man. It hits your spirit, right? It makes you stop mid scroll and mid breath, and suddenly you just feel a little less steady. 8 children, man. 8 children, three, I believe it was 3 to 11, 5 girls, 3 boys. 7 of them were the shooter's own kids. One was their cousin. All of them were asleep in that home, and that should have been the safest place in the world, man. And the part that really hits me, and I'm sure it gets you, this wasn't a stranger. This wasn't random. This was somebody that they loved, that was supposed to protect them. That's the part that nobody wants to say out loud, but everybody feels. People always ask, how does something like this even happen? but it never starts with a headline, man. I mean, I'm not coming up with excuses here for this individual's actions, but I also believe that people can snap, and history has its receipts. And those receipts aren't often produced in quiet. Well, those receipts are produced, right, in quiet places. And it's those arguments, financial difficulties, stress at work. It's a pain that routinely happens. It's a storm that families survive alone. Because and it's a storm that families experience, and it happens before tragedy hits, right? Before those children were found in that house on West 79th, I believe that was the street. Before those two women were shot. Before that 13-year-old jumped the roof trying to escape. There were warning signs. There were cracks. There were moments where somebody needed help and nobody saw it. And sadly we don't see it until that storm breaks. And then we all feel that pain. Look, I'm not here to repeat a tragedy or make a spectacle out of this pain. But I'm here because pretending these things are unthinkable hasn't stopped them from happening. They're happening too often, folks. Too close. Families who look too familiar. Sometimes I feel like there's too many things we don't talk about honestly, calmly, and without the theatrics. I sometimes feel like we're just waiting for the next headline to knock the wind out of us, right? I'm gonna leave you with this message. Check on your people. Pay attention to the quiet stuff. Hold your kids a little tighter tonight. Because sometimes the loudest warning signs are the ones that nobody hears. And to the families in Louisiana, man, we don't know you, but we feel this with you. And today we're holding that space for every single one of those babies, man. Have a good night.